Good morning.
Your head coach, Mr. Henrik Rydström.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It was confirmed today that Abou Ali will miss the rest of the 2026 season. Just looking back at the game, can you explain what happened between him getting that first injury and the second, and what the how much conversations with you, with the medical staff that allows him to go back into the game?
Yeah, maybe it's not always clear from the outside how, like, the what you call it, like the chain of decision, chain of commander. Sounds like a movie. Commander of chief. Yeah, but we. It's always when something happens on the pitch. We start directly. We and then I refer to the football coaches. So it's me, Theo, Laurent, Josh, Phil. Then directly, okay, because we don't know. And now I talk in general, like someone is lying down on the pitch. So and you can see a little bit from the reaction on the player if it's serious or if it's just a hit that is like painful. And then sometimes I don't want our medical staff to go in sometimes, because then if they do and it's not a warning, then they need to take the player off. So then sometimes I can hold them and don't go in. But in this case we saw that he got. But my thought was that it was something with the muscle. I thought he got like a hit. So I was like, muscle injury. And then we started directly, okay, you get a little bit, what's the word? I mean, cynical in that way. You start to, you don't think about the, you think about the player, but you think about the team. Like, okay, how do we solve this? If West needs to go off, who do we put in? So we were talking about that. So I don't at all put any energy in which kind of an injury it is. Like, it's more, can he play or not? That's the only information I want to have, and that's the decisions like the medical stuff is dealing with. But we decided that, okay, if he can't play, then it's Taha. And then at the same time, I think I was trying to instruct something on the sideline also. And then he came, and then I was like, how is it? Yeah, I got scared, he said, like, how do you feel now? Yeah, but it's good. Yeah, and the medical check was also that, yeah, he can go. And then it went like 5 minutes, and then, yeah, he couldn't. So, but I also have experienced this in Sweden. I had a central defender that got like something after 5 minutes in the game, kept on playing, and it was the same injury. He played the whole game. So it's so individual how you react, and they do the test, but of course you can't do a fully test there on the pitch. So in one way it was nothing strange, and it's quick decisions in the moment with minimal kind of volume of information.
Is there any regrets on how the situation played out? I know you said, if I'm correct, you said that you don't know if it happened the first time or the second time, but do you
that I don't. I don't have that knowledge about if he got the injury in the first situation or in the second one. I can assume that it was already done, and then it's not like. And also, like I said, it's individual. Some players can play 90 minutes with that kind of injury. Some players can't even stand up, and you have adrenaline and those kind of things that also makes it difficult to check. And then it's also, you have the time frame. I'm on the medical staff. Like, yeah, we need a decision, so that hurry things up and makes probably the decision making harder, but in this case it is what it is, and no one can blame anyone. It's just so sad from the perspective for Wes and for the team.
How does this change now your strategy and just your approach to the offense? Is it changing any of who you're going to bring in, what you're drawing up for the future?
Yeah, I mean, we have had some meetings here me and you, and we have talking about that we are in something, or I have talked about that we are creating something new, and it's just a couple, and I have said that I have felt that it's just the last couple of weeks that we have starting to, together, and then with together I mean the coaching staff, but also the players, and okay, which direction can we take? How can we create more? How can we be more dangerous? And Wes was like the main guy when it comes to that. I can try to, we solve it, but that would be to lie, and I don't think that's good. I think what we need in every situation is to be as honest as possible, and to lose Wes. Also, the kind of play person he is. When you have an attacking player, you want him to be a little bit arrogant. You want him to be like, I'm the best, and that's Wes. That put fear among the opponents also, and he have shown that the level in so many. I don't know how he hasn't played so many games for the crew, but he score or assist in every game. When I looked how the direction we took, then he was of course important. Also in the defensive part. So you lose him, and you lose him for the rest of the year. Of course, first it's the sadness for himself, but then we need to create solutions. So first I sound very negative, but it's also like with everything, nothing is like total black or white or bad or good. It's we have talked about other players here. You were meeting Ahmad today. We have talked about Gastak. We have players that haven't been on the pitch that much that will get the opportunity, and I'm looking forward to see which kind of solutions and which kind of direction we can take together with those players, for example.
With the U.S. Open Cup game tomorrow, are you approaching that as a game that you can rotate a few players who haven't played, or just what's your strategy for that game?
Yeah, first of all, it's for me. I think you know that also. I think that every game is important. Then we need to have into the consideration that we had some players that we are pushing quite hard. Rudy is, for example, a player I don't push in this game because he came back from the injury and played a lot. So some players that have also been away with national teams and they travel. Take Steven, for example. I think he was in New Zealand, and that's a long traveling, and then come back, and then time difference. So we will be careful with some players, but otherwise it's like again I try to find we have a word is full satsning. We go full effort in the game, but I think also it is a good opportunity to give playing time to some players that have deserved it. I have said to you, I have been too careful with doing subs in the games. Now in the two last games we have done the subs earlier. We forced it with West, but we have also done it earlier, and I think that's one of the reasons why we also have been able to push quite tough in the second half. So yeah, there will be opportunity for some players to start, and they haven't been starting games for a while, so that would be nice to see.
Thank you.
Coach, you, first of all, I'm sorry for you and the staff to have to deal with this news this morning. You had a very intentional meetup with Daniel Gazdag immediately following the whistle on Sunday night. Can you share any part of that exchange? And
with Danny?
Yeah.
I mean, one of the toughest part of the job is to I'm not the only coach that feels that, but it's when you can't give playing time to players, and sometimes you don't. If I'm going to be honest, you don't always have like a good answer to the player, and for Danny, it's been like that. And then sometimes I can also be honest. I'm always too honest in these kind of situations, but then sometimes I think you asked me here 2 weeks ago why Danny is not playing, and I said like, yeah, other players are performing better in trainings. It's kind of standard answer if I'm gonna be true. I mean, Danny has shown before in his career how good he can be, and I feel always that I don't succeed. It's about winning games, and that's something we will do more of pretty soon. I'm pretty sure about that. But also for me as a coach, it's to unlock the potential the players have, and I don't think that I have been able to do that so far with Danny. So we talk about those kind of things. But he's a terrific human being, and that's the most important thing. So he can separate, and it's not all players that can do that, but it's the same with Ahmad that you talked with here before. They can separate, okay, the person and the coach, and I try to do a little bit the same. I try also to just understand the player, but it's not always easy because I'm the one that don't give them playing time. And then when I was a player, I had a good relationship with the coach I had the most, so he always played me. He knew that I'm gonna be very angry otherwise. No, but it's not. You take it personal. I did it when the games I didn't start in the end of my career. I took it personal, and then I didn't want the coach to speak with me, but Danny is the opposite. So yeah. But the thing is that I always feel that I don't. With some players you can say, yeah, you need to do this and this and this more. In Danny's case, it's the things we have talked about. It's that how can he get an end product of things. But he also one of the players that understand the games, the game, the way we want to play, quickest. He's good in finding spaces. He's good in finding a rhythm in the game. Yeah, long answer, but we talked about those kind of things.
You would be forgiven as a head coach if you utilized some of this time this week for players who maybe haven't gotten playing time to go to Richmond, but players who could be a part of the solution for you now that Abou Ali is out, to remain in Columbus and spend some time kind of figuring out whatever it is needs to be figured out. Is that how you're going to use some of the time with players who are left behind?
Yeah, in one way it's very good to get the game now, from the perspective that I can give playing time to players that really deserve starting spot for Columbus Crew, but then we don't have that many sessions together to work on alternative solutions without Wes. But you can also use the game tomorrow to do that. So that's what we load-wise. Which player do we bring with us with that in mind? So yeah, it's a lot of decision making for coaching staff to do, but spot on. But I don't have an answer on it. I can only confirm. Yeah, that's where we are in the thinking process.
Thank you.
Presumably, Wes goes on the season-ending injury list, which does open up a slot, DP slot. What are your plans for that, and were there contingencies in place for something like this?
Yeah, I'm starting to understand the the rules in the league when it's come to that, and if I understand it right, the time in this case Wes is out, we can replace with a player of DP position, but the moment he's back, so it's the tricky part there is how you solve that. But yeah, I talked with the organization yesterday, and it's always when these kind of things happens, you have the side with Wes and to talk with him and take care of him, but at the same time you need to look forward and how do we solve it. So, but I don't have I was screaming so much in the game on Ugo and Malte that I lost my voice almost. So I blame them. But we will see how we do. But of course it's a. I mean, how we look at it, it's where do we need to add strength to the squad. I think now I zoom out a little bit. I think when we look at our game, it's not that I say that we play spectacular, yeah. But I start to see a structure that looks a little bit more that I believe that we will see more of in the future, and something to build on, and from that we can start to, okay, we need to add that kind of player type. We need to add, for example, one thing that I felt from the beginning, and I talked with Issa and Mark Nichols already when I met them in London, because if you look at stats, Columbus Crew is a passing team, but has no dribbles in one way. I think Mo can be a guy that beats his guy, Max also, but not in that sense that you create that chaos in the opponent's defense. And for example, against Orlando, and Ugo can also have that, but consistently be able to beat his guy. That's of course difficult to find that kind of player, because everybody wants that. Sometimes you have a dribbler, but then he can't do anything else. But it is a player profile that I think Crew needs. Even without me as a coach before, they needed that kind of player. So we are looking for that. For example, how can you break down a low block? Is it just passes? No, you need runs, you need players that are skillful in that kind of situations. So that's like one position. What will happen this summer with some players in the squad? Now I share our big thought process. But if we would have Wes available, then you don't look for that spot. Now we need to look at that spot. Like Jamal is a great person, and I think I didn't put him in earlier because I think Taha gives us something else. It's a total different kind of player profile. Taha is more dropping, more mobile, not the number 9, but we need that player type that Wes is, I would say, and Jamal will be able to fill out the gap sometimes, but we look at the short answer is we look at that kind of player profile, but it's not easy to find.
Okay, thank you.
It sounds like as you talk through that, you're still trying to process it all. Is that a fair way to depict that?
With
like in the immediacy, what you have to do without Wes. It just sounds like you're almost talking through it in real time.
But I used this moment to work through the emotions of games and life and Wes. It's actually, again, I talk too much about things, but it's it goes so fast, and that's what I try to explain a little bit. Like when it happens in the game, you have to be a little bit disconnected from your emotions. Like not good, the game. What do we need to do in the game? Then the game is played, and then it's like, okay, we need to analyze the game. At the same time, you have this. Okay, how do we deal with that? But like yesterday, it was about the game, and then we start to look on the next opponent, and at the same time, this big picture. But that's why it's good to have this organization, because people are already working on that. But when I don't want to say, in one way, I don't want to talk too much about it, because it feels and sounds so cynical. I mean, Wes is our guy; he's the one. So it's more the emotions with that, and I don't want it to look like, okay, we went. No, it's not like that. So he will come back, and he will come back stronger. But at the same time, yeah, how do we solve it? But this is also a very interesting part of the job, to always, what do we need to add? What can we add? And sometimes you can think that there are a lot of options. Yeah, it is in one way, but then the league has its rules, and then we have maybe that player or that player, but then something else happens, and then we, like before the season, before I even started to work here, or maybe after the second Russell Rowe suddenly left us. Like we had planned to create an attacking game with Wes and him and Diego and you know, and then suddenly now Wes is out, Russell is in France, but I also like that part. Okay, now we found a new way, and so I look at it with like, it's interesting, but yeah, no, we don't have clear answers, and it depends on which day it is, like actually. So.
And you talked about Daniel Gazdov. Does he have to be, given what he makes and his status in this league, what he's done, you mentioned that, does this have to be an opportunity where he seizes whatever it is that you need to see from him?
Yeah, I think what you mentioned there also, of course, if he wasn't the DP, then he would be judged with total different eyes, and he knows that. So, and that's also what we talked about. I said to him, like, that it's amazing to be DP, but it's also a lot of pressure. And then if you don't deliver, and he's the first one to say, like, yeah, he hasn't delivered in that way that he's capable of doing. So yeah, I hope that he will see that as a really opportunity. If I put it like that, it sounds, again, because we all feel with Wes, but he will be one of those players. But I would also say that it's also for Hugo to I think he is starting to show what he showed last year. We have Taha, so just to mention two other players. So more players, and in one way it is like that. You know that sometimes one very big personality and big player like Wes, you can't feel it with one player. You need to feel it with a lot of players. So and then we will look at, like, how can we tactical solve it. I have played without strikers sometimes. When I came to Malmö, I was a little bit known in Sweden to play without strikers. So the striker I had in Malmö, he was playing for the national team sometimes, Isak Kiese Thelin. So he was like, I called him and I said, like, yeah, just so you know, I never play with a striker. And he was like, I'm joking. I have never had a good striker like you, I said. So so it depends on. I mean, sometimes you put the best players on the pitch, and then you find a way of playing also. So we'll see. We maybe, yeah, we'll see. We solve it.
Last call, everyone good?
One last thing. You mentioned Mo Farsi. Just, is there an update on how he's progressing?
I don't know if I every time I say something, the opposite happens. So I would say, like, yeah, but today he will be part of. So if I said the collective training, and then be part of the games we play. So, and he did that yesterday also, modified of course, but very, very happy for him and for the club, that because I think it was like a month ago when you asked me, I said, yeah, he's doing good. Then that day it was a setback. So, and that's the thing with this injury, so we don't stress, we see. But he will, he's doing big progress.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.